I'm not wearing my Dutch soccer shirt to mourn their loss in the Euros this year. It's because this Raspberry Pi rack mount arrived from the Netherlands. It's from MyElectronics, a small business in the Netherlands that specializes in rack mount solutions for small computers, like Raspberry Pis, small form factor PCs like Intel's Nook, and even Mac Minis. And full disclosure, after they saw my 3D printed Pi rack video, they sent me these two Pi racks to test and keep, and even a rack mount for my new M1 Mac Mini, since they cringed when they saw me put it loose on a rack shelf. Let's take a look at how their new Pi rack system works. It's a slot-based rack unit available in 3 sizes, 1U for 5 Pis, 2U for 16, or 3U for 16 Pis plus accessory jacks. The big difference between this rack solution and older designs on the market, like this UC Tronics mount I found on Amazon, or 52 Pis 1U rack mount, is that you can hot swap Pis from the front without removing the whole thing, just like the 3D printed Pi rack I built in an earlier video. But unlike my 3D printed rack, since this is made from stamped metal, it has the strength to add in keystone jacks and these plastic retainers that hold the Pis securely in place. My plastic 3D printed rack doesn't have any way to prevent Pis from sliding right out. To install a Pi, you screw in 2 screws on the port side into the metal frame. It holds the Pi secure enough, though I wish there were at least one more rigid standoff on the rear of the Pi for even better stability. The plastic retainers work by popping in and out these little buttons on the front, which compresses the retainer against the metal to hold the Pi in. As you can see here, I already broke one. This is one weak point in the system, so be careful when you go to hot swap a Pi. MyElectronics sent me a set of replacements though, so it's probably good to have them on hand in case one snaps apart. The Keystone I/O panels let you add things like an HDMI port or network jack on the front, so you can cable manage from the front or even plug in a display for debugging a Pi without removing it from the rack, like I'd have to do with my existing 3D printed rack. But I have to address the elephant in the room, and that's price. This particular model is their 1U enclosure for 5 Pis, which comes with 5 Pi mounting brackets, and it costs a little over $100 plus $50 shipping if you live in the US like I do. So while I estimate my 3D printed enclosure cost around $40 to $50 in materials plus my time putting it together, this enclosure is about triple the price, at least where I live. So if you already have a 3D printer and the time to put together a rack, you might not love the price. But if you're serious about racking a lot of Pis, MyElectronics modular rack system, especially the 2 and 3U versions, is the best I've seen. They look great, and their whole system is a great way to introduce Pis into the data center or your premium homelab rack mount setup. And MyElectronics said they also build custom rack solutions, but judging from the price of the Pi racks, a budget-minded homelabber might not be in the market for custom fabricated rack mounts. Anyways, I liked this rack enough that I'm going to replace my 3D printed Pi rack with it, and I'm hoping I'll be able to fill in the 2U rack with a new clustering project soon. And well, I'm also a sucker for all things Dutch, so besides the price, there's not much to complain about. Hup Holland hup! Until next time, I'm Jeff Geerling.